Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised that there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club, especially when it's a literature-based club.
Well, you could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new.
Hold on a second. You don't need to capitalize it here because they're not talking about literature club, like the formal thing. They're just talking about, yeah. You don't need to capitalize that.
Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it!
Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, yet all are interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Except that I haven't thought about joining this club yet. Once again, I'm gonna capitalize it. It's not the full proper name of the club, so you don't have to capitalize club. Maybe if I join, could this be a huge turn of events in my life?
So, Hallie, what kinds of things do you like to read?
I haven't read about different books before, but it's hard to keep track of what interests me. I don't really have a specific way to answering your question. Wait, okay, it could be way of answering her question or way to answer her question. Take your pick. Well, I like novelty books, horror, and science fiction as well. What the hell is a novelty book? And of course, manga. I say that last one quietly as a joke. To be fair, those 4 genres I mentioned are what I really prefer to read, but even so, I rarely read books nowadays. You don't have to capitalize genres either. I'm surprised I still remember those. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet.
Oh, you're a variety reader then.
What is that? Is this like a proper title? Yeah, however, there's some other genres I also read, but those main 4 genres are what I love the most. Yuri smiles a bit, and the rest look at me alike. They seem to be interested in those genres as well. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. Wow, she does love reading a lot. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. Maybe that'll change once she opens up to people.
But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
Oh wow, that's nice. I like horror as well, just like I said earlier.
Yeah, you mentioned it before.
Yuri smiles shyly.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, I really can't put it down.
Yeah, not all horror books get you immersed when reading them, so some try really hard to make it more imaginable to show.
Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
I hate horror.
Well, why's that?
Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind.
It's clearly obvious she's not into horror stuff. She must get scared pretty easily, though. I don't blame her for that.
That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki?
But what? What gave you that idea?
You left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on that poem called...
Don't say it out loud! Give that back!
Fine.
Natsuki grabs the scrap of paper from Monica and stuffs it in her blazer pockets.
Your cupcake is your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are.
Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders.
I'm not cute!
Even when denying it, she still looks cute, not going to lie about that entirely. Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Eh? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No!
Natsuki averts her eyes, but glances for a split second at me for a bit.
You wouldn't like them.
Not a very confident writer yet.
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart.
Well, that's a really deep way to say it.
Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
I guess it's the same for Yuri.
Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems.
To be fair, reading everyone's poems does sound a bit exciting, but I never even had done that in my life. We all sit in silence for a moment.
Okay. I have an idea, everyone.
Hmm? We all look quizzically at Monica.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bonds of the club. Isn't that right, Hallie?
Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Well, this does show some promise and all. So yeah, I'm in.
Yes, I'm so happy!
Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, watch it!
You really did scare me for a moment.
How? We didn't have that scene where, like, we awkwardly try to turn them down.
I thought you weren't planning to join.
Yeah, if you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed.
The cupcakes were great, Natsuki. You don't need to capitalize it. And don't worry, I didn't come just for those.
That makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club.
Thanks for the warm welcome, Monica.
Okay, everyone. I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monica looks over at me once more. Trying to avoid eye contact with her was hard. I wondered if she'd noticed that I was trying to.
Hallie, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself again this time.
What? Huh? I will, Monica. Wait, what? Yeah. Alright, well that signals that this is not Monica's first time going through this, but on that note, I need to point out something. It's actually a little bit of clever stuff that Dan did in the original game. Whenever you join in Act 1, it plays out a lot like this, and Monica says, "Oh, I never knew you were a baker, Natsuki. Oh, I didn't know Yuri was into horror." But then in Act 2, well, the cupcake thing doesn't happen because Yuri's not there to tell her to cook them, but Monica says, "That's so like you, Yuri," whenever Yuri mentions how she's into horror. So if you're going to have Monica be remembering this, you should have that reflected in those lines too, so she's like, not so surprised. Again this time, what does she mean by that? Anyway, can I really impress these girls, and especially the class star, Monica, with my mediocre writing skills? I haven't even written any poems for a really long time. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Sayori, on the other hand, heads towards me.
Hey, Hallie.
Yeah?
Since we're already here, do you want to walk home together?
Now that Sayori and I are in the same club together, maybe I should brush up our friendship once again and spend some time with her and the others as well. Sure, I'm happy to, Sayori. I mean, I guess that works, but it's more like I'd be happy to is usually how that goes.
Yay! Let's go then!
With that, the two of us depart the clubroom and make our way home. Sayori goes into her house and says goodbye, while I slowly pace myself towards my house. The whole way my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? I know I'll be happy. I haven't felt this feeling for a very long time now. Wait, that reminds me. What did Monica meant about expressing myself? Again, mean. What did Monica mean about it? I've never tried doing any activities involving her before, but why does it feel like it? Why does it feel it's like that? I'm not sure what they're trying to say. I got smacked. Oh well, might as well. Ow. I accidentally bumped into someone while I was lost in my train of thoughts. Hold on a second. Train of thoughts is not usually plural, it's singular. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't...
Hallie,
Oh, it's Erica. She came out of nowhere suddenly.
I'm so sorry about that. I wasn't looking at where I was going.
Yeah, you're not the only one. So, where are you going?
Oh, I'm heading home. I was picking up some stuff at the convenience store before I head back for home. Do you mind if we walk together? Seems like we're somehow about to go the same path down the street anyway. If you don't mind, that is.
Ah, sure, I guess. Looks like we live somewhere near with each other. Somewhere nearby each other? Judging by the way we're both going to. Oh, she don't need it to. Didn't exactly expect the new girl to also be living in the same neighborhood. Moments of silent walking later, she then starts walking towards another direction.
Okay, Holly, looks like this is where we go our separate ways.
Right.
Well, see you tomorrow in class then.
Oh yeah, sure. Man, what a great bonding moment. I'm glad we learned anything about Erica in this interaction.
Goodbye then.
And with that, Erica trots off towards a separate road. I myself, however, continue on my way on. Continue on my way on. Just continue on my way. You don't need this on. I went inside my house. I prepared my own dinner. I wasn't really much of the cooking type. I mean, I love to cook, but sometimes I feel that cooking takes a bit longer, and I decided to just have instant or ready-to-cook meals when I eat. Boy, do I understand that sentiment. And besides, I prefer instant ramen overall. Oh, gotta capitalize. Well, not most of the time. I sigh. Instant ramen. I waited for the ramen to be fully cooked. While waiting, my thoughts began to take over of what Monica said earlier.
Holly, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself again this time.
What does she mean by expressing myself again this time? Why did she said that? Why did she say that? My thoughts went over and over with what Monica said until my ramen was cooked well. Too well. Whatever, it must be something we did together last year. I began eating my meal and cleaned up afterwards. After eating, I took a quick shower, then went to my room and changed into my pajamas. Okay, so here they did it present tense. Although they've been going past tense for a hot minute here. Just stop it. All present tense. First, I have to make my assignments before making a poem. Don't capitalize this, don't capitalize this. I quickly went through my homeworks before going through with the poem. Don't capitalize this. Homework is already plural, you don't need the S. Of course, I didn't have that much homework to do. No. I eventually finished my homework. And a poem afterwards. Okay, hold on. Of course, I didn't have that much homework to do, so I eventually finished it and a poem afterwards. There. Now I have something to show for tomorrow at the club. Hope this is enough. I quickly put the poem in one of the books in my pack before jumping on my bed. Things have been weird today. Hope tomorrow's not any weirder. Not any weird is what it said. But yeah, that doesn't really work the way that is. Just make it weirder like I just accidentally read. Over by my window, not needing to capitalize this, I could hear Sayori from her room. Wow, how close are your houses?
Time to make a poem!
But she writes it in the morning. If the poem is still Dear Sunshine, I'm calling you on this. I sigh. Well, at least she's making one, that's for sure. My eyes began to feel weak, and before I could even know it, I dozed off. But before I knew it, I dozed off. I don't know. Okay then, I'm actually at a loss here, is what you were trying to say. At lost here right now. Huh? Why? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's mainly because she's there? So what exactly happened? Why is her avatar here? I have no idea, Redeemed. This is Quanta Override mode. There's going to be a lot of things we won't expect to happen in this iteration compared to the rest. Either way, let's just try to play this out and see what's going to happen. You know, we already know that all these voices are just us from, like, other realities. I don't know why they had them tagged as, like, Redeemed Hallie or Brave Hallie or whatever before, and then they just switched back to indeterminate voice numbers 1 through 8. I don't get it. So tomorrow is going to be the first day of the club for us. Again, as per usual. It won't matter. The important thing is that he must be warned of the dangers that are going to happen soon. You do know that strategy is really useless, right? Yes, I know, but considering that he sometimes ends up here when he sleeps is bizarre, and still confuses me how that works entirely. Okay, so bizarre is actually 1 Z and... oh wait, 2 R's. Is that right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure. And, hold on. There's something wrong here. Yes, I know, but considering that he sometimes ends up here when he sleeps is bizarre, and still confuses me how that works entirely. I guess it works. There's something awkward about it, but it does technically work. Probably a side effect from the soul energem, but hopefully it won't be a really complicated problem later. Well, go ahead and say your lines. Alright. Ahem. Hallie? You may not be conscious of what's happening right now. Need another S here, conscious. But there are things that are going to happen soon in the next couple, no, not couple of days. More like next couple of months. Especially with Sayori on my end. So please, keep an eye on her. To her, you're more than her friend, so please don't do the same mistakes me and Satoshi's Pieces did? Please don't make the same mistakes me and Satoshi did? I don't know what you mean by Satoshi's Pieces. What are you on about? Okay, now that's settled. What now? I believe this is the part where we order pizza. They can get pizza in the void, don't need to capitalize this. Ugh, I'll pass on pizza today once again. Honestly, same. Take a break. Take a breaker then? No, just take a break. Oh, ER. Yeah. Yeah, good idea. Let's set him on auto mode for now. Do you really need autopilot when the guy is asleep? September 4th, 2018. I wonder if this will ever be important, or if it's going to, like, skip days sometimes. That would be the only time I'd expect it's important. What a dream. What was that? I could hear people talking all around me. But who were those? And why do they sound almost just like me? And why did one of them mention Sayori? One of them mention, you don't need the ED. Ah, whatever, it's not like something bad's going to happen to her. I mean, she's the happiest girl I know. Ain't nothing bad's going to happen to her. Except if she's always going to school, don't capitalize late, then I can't do anything about that. I look at the clock, don't capitalize. On the desk, don't capitalize. Next to my bed, oh my god, why? It's 6:45 a.m. Damn, I'm going to be late. I quickly jump out of my bed, grabbed a towel. It's not all nouns, okay? It's not all nouns. And rush towards the shower. Oh my god. Stop capitalizing the nouns. After showering and changing, I quickly went to the kitchen and prepared another cup of instant ramen. Added some hot water. Oh my god. They're doing the descriptors of the nouns. I waited for it to cook while doing some quick look over at my things.